All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shema Wan from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And today, I want to go into this article about the earthquake that just happened in Ecuador. So just getting right into that and bringing out some scriptures with this article. So let's get right into it, and I pray this be edifying to the Lord's elect. So the article, it reads, a strong earthquake has killed at least 15 in Ecuador and 1 in Peru. A strong earthquake shook southern Ecuador and northern Peru on Saturday, killing at least 15 people, trapping others under rubble, and sending rescue teams out into streets littered with debris and fallen power lines. The U.S. Geological Survey reported an earthquake with a magnitude of about 6.8 that was centered just off the Pacific coast, about 50 miles south of Guayaquil, however you pronounce that, Ecuador's second largest city. One of the victims died in Peru, while 14 others died in Ecuador, where authorities also reported that at least 126 people were injured. So that's an indicator of the times that we're in. Let me read this. This is Matthew chapter 24 in verse 3. It says, and as he sat up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So the disciples were asking Yahweh, when was he going to come back to the earth? When was the end of the world going to be? And just like we're looking towards that day now. So verse 6, jumping down, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And an earthquake is a indicator of the times that we're in. These things are going to be taking place in the last days, right? So verse 8, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So we're in the stages of the beginnings of sorrows. So things are going to be increased on this earth. So we need the Lord more than ever, man, because these people who got affected by this earthquake, I'm sure it caught them by surprise. Let me get this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 in verse 7. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So whenever these things take place on this earth, this allows us not to get in our comfort zone. This allows us not to put off or rest, because this is the Lord's judgment going forth. And we don't know where we stand when it's time for the Lord to start judging, man. That's why we just have hopes of the Lord having mercy on us, because these things are very tragic and life-changing to people who are affected by these things. So just something to always make sure that we're on our watch, being mindful of doing the things that are required of us to do, our daily responsibilities that the Lord gives us, because we don't want to get caught out in a damn earthquake, man, or affected by one. We don't want to be taken out by the Lord's hand in such ways like this. But going back to this article, it says, let me see. Okay, it says Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso told reporters the earthquake had without a doubt generated alarm in the population. So now these people are scared. Now these people are panicking. But before that moment, I guarantee you, they were in their security. A lot of people were in their security, having no worries about getting touched by the Lord's judgment, right? But like I say, these things that happen and they take place, that just shows you the mercy that the Lord had on us, being able to read about it, and not having it happen unto us. So it says, Lasso's office in a statement said 12 of the victims died in the coast of El Oro and 2 in the highland state of Azue. I'll keep reading. It says, in Peru, the earthquake was felt from its northern border with Ecuador to the central Pacific coast. Peruvian Prime Minister Alberto Ortarola said a 4-year-old girl died from head trauma. She suffered in the collapse of her house, in the collapse of her home in the Tumbes region on the border with Ecuador. So they just showing you this little 4-year-old girl didn't get exempt from the Lord's judgment, man. Suffering head trauma. Brothers got daughters. It's a lot of people out here with children. Imagine your baby girl getting busted upside the head and suffering head trauma where it led to her death. Hey, the Lord is not playing, man. The Lord is not out here playing. These are life-changing things that are happening to people that are upon this, that are on the face of this earth, man. It's not just something we're reading about. These are things happening to people, who's the Lord just chose to touch. That's why we hope that we're found worthy to escape the things that are coming upon this place. Let me find this. Let me see if I can find this real quick. One second. All right, I couldn't find it, but shit, scrolling down through this article, I'll post it in the comment section of this video, but you could read the tragedies of certain individuals, who are stricken with fear now and calling on their God. You'll read about that, but guess what? It's too late. Now it's too late, man. And I'm just showing you the times that we're in. This is Second Esdras. Let me get this real quick. All right, this is Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So this is the time where Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is starting to visit this place, man. So it's we're waiting on the Lord's return. And the closer the Lord gets to returning to this earth, the more things are going to be turning up. More tragedies, more miseries, more judgments are going to be brought forth from this earth, on this earth, man. And something that got taken out of the limelight is what happened in Turkey. As you can see, I got pulled up. I just typed in, what does it look like in Turkey? Something upon those lines. I just put it in Google. But I came across this. It says, what the damage and recovery looks like in Turkey a month after the earthquakes. And mind you, this came out on March 6th, and those earthquakes started on February 6th last month. So this is a little bit over a month and a week ago. So I'll just read a little bit from on this article. It says, today marks 4 weeks since the devastating earthquakes in southern Turkey and northern Syria. At least 50,000 people have died. Tens of thousands more are injured. Recovery is going slowly, and many people still need urgent help with basic necessities. And I remember starting at the beginning, reading up on these earthquakes. It was started in the hundreds. Then the hundreds started creeping up. Then it finally reached 1,000. Then all the way now to over 50,000, man. The Lord is not playing. These are judgments happening on this place, man. It says NPR's Fatma Tanis has been... Damn, Salaki. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right, it says, has been reporting from the quake zone and is now in Gaziantep, Turkey. Hey, Fatma. So this is or Fatma, however you pronounce these things. So this is a conversation going on between some people, and I'm gonna just read into it a little bit. It says, unfortunately, Ari, not for many families, they are still searching everywhere for loved ones. You can see flyers around with missing persons. Hospitals are getting lots of calls, but also bodies are still being found under the rubble. And many families are waiting for news. You mentioned thousands of people are injured. Some of them with critical injuries are dying. And so while the death count is not increasing at the rates that it did earlier, it's still ticking up slowly. So, the Lord's judgments are still being felt in Turkey, although it happened over a month ago. So just like this new thing that happened to these people in Ecuador and Peru, bro, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning of it, But just ultimately, the judgments are getting turned up on this place, man, because the Lord's return is drawing closer. So it just puts us in a situation to be mindful. Like it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. And making that turn towards the Lord, it has to be a serious turn, understanding the severity of it. Being in the secret place of the Lord keeps us under the shadow of the Lord, so we can be sheltered from these tragics and these devastations that are coming upon this earth. So, I just wanted to get that hit this little article real quick. So with that being said, I pray it was edifying to the Lord's elect. Again, I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Hey, until the next